Trip to the tropics, starting and we having fun. Fresh and I match my shoes. Get a fit in the kid look cool. I'm trying to party on the island with you. I'm tripping on the island, don't hit my phone.
Let's go. That song is called Bali.
That's from your new album? We'll get into that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and get the show started so that we don't keep people waiting around. I know they've been waiting to hear some of your journey, so let's get right into it. Good evening, everybody. I'm your meta host, Emjay La Mama. Welcome to BlockGen episode 12, a series strictly Web3 based, powered by the Culture Cards. Now, these segments, of course, feature some of Web3's most successful creatives and subject matter experts. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, the Culture Cards are an ever-expanding collection of authenticated NFT collectible trading cards that honors people who have shaped and influenced the global urban market since its birth. Now, what's special about this project is that it incentivizes utility from over 200 plus talent, which allows for real-life interactive exchange between the artist and collectors, of course. Now, the culture, or I should say, BlockGen, the Culture Talk is another segment we host on Sundays. The Culture, or BlockGen rather, is a live audio space that highlights the journey of some of our signed artists and or future collaborators so that we may educate, elevate, and of course, as always, give back. For more on pre-sales, follow our Discord by hitting the hyperlink in mine or Frenchy's bio. This will direct you to our website that's coming soon. That being said, I know that was a mouthful, I'm sure, but tonight we take an adventure with someone who is truly the pioneer of both crypto and music NFT in the space. His debut album, Crypto Rich, earned him top-selling independent album on the blockchain. Today, he's an artist, entrepreneur, and marketing strategist. Let us welcome the Dylan Rhodes, aka Dill. Welcome, Dylan.
Yo, thank you for having me on GM, and happy to be here,
I love that for you.
I'm a big
um,
fan of what we're doing with the culture cards and happy to be involved. So happy to get on the show and talk a little bit about my journey as well.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's really great to have you. Now, of course, it's no secret that you're one of blockchain's veterans, having paved the way for us newcomers. Tell us where you're from and what sort of home life you had growing up so we get just a basic idea of who you are as a person.
For sure. I'm from Philly. Grew up right outside of Philly. I have a pretty big family. I got two younger brothers and a younger sister. Growing up, it was good. I had friends. I went to school. I was always kind of interested in music. Did a little bit of sports and stuff, but I was never super into sports. I was always into like kind of like gaming and computers and technology and music and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I really started out liking like alternative music and like punk rock and stuff like that. And then when
Yes.
I started getting into like early years of high school or getting a little bit older, that's when I started getting more into rap and hip hop and, really growing more into what led me down the road of making music in the future. But I mean, as a kid, I never really thought I was going to be a music artist per se, but I was always interested in music, interested in creative things. And, always trying to be like entrepreneurial. Like I was always trying to sell stuff or like flip something or like get out and make some money somehow, even as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, you came from a blue collar city, right? I mean, just outside of Philly, you mentioned. I mean, your father was an athlete, a local hero to some, I'm sure. So you said that you didn't have any sort of athletic capabilities. You were more the studious, techie, that sort of environment is what you
I mean,
thrived in.
I played sports. Like I was pretty athletic. I was played sports. I worked out a little bit. And my dad was not an athlete really. I mean, he played in college. He played football, but my dad was in insurance, and my mom was a lawyer. So I mean, we had a nice life growing up. I mean, it was great. And my family was great, and they've always been super supportive of me and whatever I do. I mean, I don't think anyone in my family expected me to end up being a rapper, and there's certainly, some, you know, tough times along the way where, my parents were certainly not expecting me to become a full-time music artist and a rapper. Especially, like growing up, I was always doing all right in school. Like I did pretty well for myself and everything. So, uh,
Yeah,
I was mostly a good kid. I mean, I got into a little trouble with like just, smoking, drinking, partying, that kind of stuff. But
sure.
getting, maybe, a couple run-ins with the law, but nothing major.
Were your parents, did they ever encourage any sort of like, I don't know, did they take you to church? Was there sort of a religious background there? Because I'm assuming coming from a small city or town, I should say, mom's, into law, father is in insurance. So they're very much into the corporate setting. And I'm sure they probably didn't envision, as you mentioned, you becoming a full-time artist. But what did that mean to them when you sort of said, hey, listen, I'm pursuing music?
Yeah, I mean, when I told my parents that I was pursuing music, also you got to understand I was already in college at the time and in business school when I really started getting successful in music. So, I would say the biggest moment of tension for that was when I decided to take time off from college, where I had a scholarship, and I worked hard for it, and I'm very fortunate that my parents are gonna pay for college for me, and I got a scholarship, so I'm helping to pay for it a lot. And then when I had this big hit song taking off and I say, all right, I'm going to take time off from college where I have all this stuff that I've worked hard for, my whole life, and I'm going to go into music for a year. And the uncertainty associated with that, obviously that drove my parents crazy because they're like, oh, well, you have all this stuff going, and now, oh, you're gonna leave college and you're never
Mm-hmm.
gonna go back. You're gonna never go back to it, which they ended up being wrong about. I actually did end up going back and finishing, but that was the big moment with my family and stuff was when I was like, look, I have a song that's blowing up right now. I need to take this opportunity. So I took a year off from college and I went and I toured and I did like over 50 shows and it was crazy. So that was a big, moment for me with my parents and everything like that because my father especially worked really hard and he came from very much blue collar background. And my father, he worked really hard for everything he had. He played football to literally get out of the hood. And that got him a scholarship to UPenn. So he went to college here in Philly to UPenn, and
Cool.
that's where he became an insurance broker. And I mean, my dad is like the classic American dream story. Like, got out of the hood. Like, he grew up in the hood. And so, anyway, all that in mind, my parents really wanted me to have like a stable career path. And so that's why
Yes.
for them, me going into music was like a stressful thing for them to think about.
I can imagine, but the fact that it was, I mean, obviously you were into alternative rock and I'm sure that was kind of digestible to some degree, but then once you enter the rap realm, I'm sure they've had a lot of questions, no?
I mean, I don't think I think my parents were just fine with rap or alternative rock. I don't think that they really care about that. Like my parents, they grew up listening to some rap and some rock, and my dad was really more into like hardcore alternative and rock and stuff like that. But it's funny, he never really could help me necessarily with music or my music career, but he really started listening to all hip hop and all the new hits and everything. And now my dad listens to like hip hop top 40, like
Right.
whatever the top hip hop hits are on like Sirius XM. He knows all the music that I know. Like he knows all the good music now. So um, but I mean, I think both of my parents are like, pretty cool. They know what's up. Like, they're cool with music. They're cool with hip hop. Like, they were always pretty cool about me making music and stuff. It's just that when it came to me, leaving college and potentially losing my scholarship, or at least they thought I was never, I was just gonna leave and never go back type of thing, and whatever that made them worried because they've worked really hard their whole lives to put me in a position to, have a
Yeah,
great life and everything like that. So, yeah, I mean, overall, like growing up in my background, lucky that I have a great life and great family around me, great people, great friends, great connections, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not like anyone from my home life or anything went into music,
got
right?
it. Got
At
it.
all.
So Del, who are some of the musical influences that really shaped your style of music?
Well, when I was first listening to music in like high school, when I first started getting into hip hop, at that time, Rick Ross was blowing up with Maybach music. Meek Mill was coming out of Philly, like just starting to blow up. I mean, he was dropping some of his like early freestyles and early mixtapes and stuff at that point. And so that's what really got me into hip hop and into music is like listening to some of those guys and just really getting in and Lil Wayne and whatever else was I was listening to at the time. Drake, Kendrick Lamar was coming out shortly after that. Like, so I really kind of got in with, I would say, listening to like a newer wave of rappers,
Got it.
who are now some of like the top rappers, but that's sort of where I came in and started being consumed by hip hop. And at that time, I was listening to music, and me and my friends would kind of mess around and freestyle and stuff like that. I actually know there's a video of me and Wes, who I made my hit song with. We were freestyling on the middle school playground. So even in
Oh
like
wow.
yeah, there's a video of that I have. So even in middle school, we were interested in like rap and freestyling, and I guess so. I guess it wasn't even high school. It had to be more like middle school that I started getting interested.
That's dope that you even have that footage. But you sort of glossed over your scholarship, but you received the presidential scholarship, is that correct?
Yeah, I got a pretty big scholarship to go to Tulane, just for academic achievement and doing well on the SATs and stuff. So yeah, I got a solid scholarship, and that was huge for me, of course, to get that opportunity and to go to an amazing place like New Orleans for college. So that was obviously one of the best experiences ever, being able to go there.
That's amazing. Now, I'm just kind of going down the timeline. So I know that you sort of got immersed into the crypto scene in and around 2015. So tell me what sort of introduced you into the crypto space. And then I want to circle it back because from what I understood as well is that while you were deep diving into crypto, you simultaneously were getting your degree in business management and finance. So I wanted to kind of go over how you funneled your way into that.
I love it, MJ. You're hitting everything. So, I mean, I love it though. But so yeah, I basically got into crypto because one day my friend Cuspack, he's one of my best friends and current business partners, called me and he said, "I've been searching on Google. I searched how to get rich, and I was researching, and I found this thing called Ethereum." And at the time, Ethereum was like $7, and he was like, "Listen, we need to get money into Ethereum because I think it's going to be really valuable." And at the time, we were like 18, 19 years old. None of us really had money. And the main reason he was calling me was because I was like touring and doing shows. So I didn't have like crazy amount of money, but I had
Mhm.
some money to put into an investment. And so I bought some Ethereum at that time. Nothing crazy, just like anyone getting into crypto the first time, just putting in a little bit to start. But that's kind of where it all started, is because one of my best friends was Googling how to get rich and found out about Ethereum. And we started learning about it and researching it and learning some of the same things that everyone goes through about smart contracts or what this technology blockchain could do. There was no NFTs at this time, but talking about crypto and what the technology can do. And we all saw the potential. So from there, me and some of my friends just started getting into the space. And, I think at this time, I was probably going into my junior, senior year. And some of my other friends, they were a year ahead of me at this point because I had taken a year off. So anyway, it was with actually some of my friends from Philly that I primarily got into crypto with. So my friends from Philly. Whereas, of course, I had plenty of friends in New Orleans and at Tulane, and of course, plenty of them got into crypto too. But my business partners currently are friends from Philly that I went to high school with, who ended up becoming my main business partners in crypto. And around that time, we started a business called Advantage Blockchain as well. So we were one of
Yes.
the original blockchain companies in Philly.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to that actually. I just wanted to kind of touch on the timelines because 2015 you're delving into crypto, but in 2017 you release your, Crypto Rich, which is the first crypto album, sort of creating a genre, if you will. And you follow that
Oh,
up, of
so
course, with
Crypto Rich didn't come until 2019.
19. Okay, so what was in 2017? Because something happened at
Yeah.
this. Yes.
So in 2016, 2017, we were starting up Advantage Blockchain. We were exploring various different things, such as consulting, such as portfolio management, and helping people invest into crypto.
Marketing
Um,
services. Yeah.
Marketing services, correct. We started a project called BitGreen, which was a sustainability focused, decentralized project, which is still around today. A great project that we started. So we delved in a lot of various different things. We worked on some technology integrations, and then we got deep into real estate as well. So we ended up working with a company that was helping to put real estate as well as other real world assets onto the blockchain. And we worked on that for a while. And it was really during this time working on different blockchain projects that I realized I wanted to come back to music. Because I guess one thing we kind of passed over is that somewhere along the way, after all the touring, after the success of my record, Jordan Belford,
Mm-hmm.
along the way in there, um, I really got discouraged trying to put out music independently. And, I think there's some stuff we kind of passed over there, but I made this song, Jordan Belford, you know, um, as a
And it went viral,
as an
right?
18, 19 year old, right? Yeah, put it on SoundCloud. It went viral, became a massive hit, you know. And after all of that, I was continuing to release independent music and just not having anywhere near the same level of success. Not to mention, the record label did not reinvest in us. They didn't really make any effort to help us with our releases beyond Jordan Belford and this one follow up song, Haters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ridiculous because the Haters song is supposed to be label funded and label backed. And I have an independent song dropped by Dill on my label. Same time period it was dropped. And they have a similar amount of traction, which is
Mm.
kind of just unbelievable because this other song from the label was supposed to have so much resources behind it, whereas my song has very little resources. So it just makes me wonder, what did they even really do to promote this song anyway?
Right.
So yeah, so I mean, it's stuff like that and experiences like that that made me feel really worn out and really just looking for the next move. So that's kind of what had brought me to crypto as well. Beyond just looking for an opportunity, it was also like at that time I was ready for something a little different than music because I just was feeling a little worn out releasing music, releasing independently, and the shows were slowing down a bit. So at that time is when I went back to school. That time is when I got deep into crypto. We started Advantage Blockchain. We worked on these projects. And so finally I graduated, came back to Philly, started working. And after a few years working in blockchain, I said, all right, this is great. I'm enjoying it. I see the potential of this technology. And I think I can make money from it. But I eventually I just started to realize I have this amazing platform for music that is so valuable, and ultimately I'm so passionate about music. That's what I want to do. As cool as great as blockchain might be or whatever, it's not as cool as music to me.
So your pursuit is the art. It's not necessarily the blockchain itself, although you had a passion for it. And so, I mean, listen, you had to have a proper, clear understanding of what crypto was going to do to the landscape of technology. I mean, I don't feel like it's by accident, right? I feel like you obviously understand the landscape. And so I know that at one point you did work, or you interned, I should say, for People Links, which is an IT services and consulting firm. So, how do you, perhaps maybe my question to you is, how did that serve you in building your current platform right now?
Yeah, well, I've always been interested in technology, entrepreneurship, things of that nature, like social media. So even, I was already like 19, 20 before the song anything started happening. So I was already like kind of thinking about what I'd want to do, and I had already had some internships at like a technology company. And so yeah, I mean, but it's funny because actually the internship you had just mentioned, during that internship I had to take a couple days off to go to Miami to shoot the Jordan Belfort music video at that time.
Wow.
I mean, all the while I was building up all these different things that I was doing. But yeah, I mean, I think working in technology certainly is something I'm always interested in. And when you look at it, it just makes sense, especially even when you think about the Jordan Belfort song and the Wolf of Wall Street and me making that song and then following it up with Crypto Rich. I think it's a pretty great story. And it really is the future of financial and creative freedom. So when I made Crypto Rich, I set out to create an album that would tell the story that I see for the future, which is financial freedom and creative freedom. And that's what I think the power of this technology is. So when I made Crypto Rich, I set out to make a project that would tell others about that vision and really help to educate others and inspire others to just look into crypto. You're not going to understand crypto because you listen to my album. And it's also not some weird, nerdy music that's going to be off putting because you don't know what I'm talking about or every line is about crypto. A lot of it is barely even mentioning crypto. But it's just a dope album that represents me and my story and lets others know what I have taken from this journey and learned about the future of financial and creative freedom. So that's really what I set out to do originally. And at this time, nobody else had ever made an album about crypto. So it was the first ever album to tell a story about crypto. But honestly, I had no idea about any of that when I published it in 2019. I wasn't even thinking about that. I mean, I didn't really see anything else about crypto, but like, that was not really what I was thinking when I put it out in 2019. Like, I would just put it out because I wanted to tell my story about Crypto Rich, and I was just happy that nobody had ever called something Crypto Rich before, like an album Crypto Rich. I wasn't even trying to look up if I was the first crypto anything at that point. I was just trying to put out an album and tell my story, and I thought it was a good title. But it was always really about just telling others what I had learned about the future and bringing that to my platform for music.
Absolutely. And do you think that just through your music, it's sustainable? It's a sustainable career to have on the blockchain? Or is that the reason why you have sort of embedded yourself on the blockchain with, businesses like Advantage Blockchain? I know that you're also part of Vertalo as well. And if you can give us maybe some inside information as to what that is exactly, what do you guys do at Vertalo and why you partnered up with them as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always trying to build businesses and I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm trying to expand and I don't see music as my only income source. I think there's going to be a lot of other ways that I build and make an income, and I think any and all musicians should be thinking the same type of thing, and I think that's pretty common today. I think you see most artists have other ways that they're trying to monetize their brand or sell something. And so to me, that's just been stuff that's naturally formed. And making Advantage Blockchain and with some partners, and then working with Vertalo. So they put real world assets on the blockchain in a regulated environment. So government approved, regulated, SEC approved assets on the blockchain. And this is a little bit different than the crypto markets that you typically think about. It's working with banks and working with approvals from the government and stuff like that. So I've worked in that side of the blockchain industry for a couple years. And Vertalo is a company that I worked for a while. So they are more like an employer to me. I have a little bit of equity in the company and stuff, but I'm a huge supporter of what they do. I believe in the technology, but I'm not currently like employed or partnered with them necessarily. But good friends over there, and I would always recommend their technology. And if I ever found an implementation, I could certainly help them put together a deal, but there's nothing necessarily on the table between us now. But I worked for them for about a year, and I left Vertalo to do music NFTs full time at the end of
Amazing.
2020.
Incredible. So at the height of COVID, essentially.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like right at the around the height of COVID. Well, I was still working there during the height of COVID because we had this co-working space here in Philly that they um, had us going to, and it was like peak COVID time. Like they had ridiculous stuff going on at the co-working place, like temperature check, like mask, like the whole ordeal. But yeah, sometime during all of that, after that is when I said to Rotalo basically that I wanted to go full time music NFTs, and they knew who I was. They were cool with it. They were huge supporters. When they hired me, they knew all about Crypto Rich and Jordan Belfort and everything. And the CEO of Rotalo is a cool guy who actually has his own band and stuff. So he was
So
always
another
cool
creative.
about. Yeah, he was always cool about music. So and they actually brought me out to their conference a year later, and then I was performing on like a banquet table with a bunch of like old white dudes in suits and stuff, and it was literally hilarious because I've never done a concert anything like that. I mean, it was just so funny. It was like me standing on a banquet table rapping about crypto and bitches and money,
Licking the ice cream cone. My
and
goodness.
licking my ice cream.
My goodness, Dill.
And there's all these guys in blazers standing around, but they loved it.
I'm sure they did. Waiting for somebody to lick their ice cream cone. Let me. Oh goodness. You didn't listen. I'm glad I wasn't there. Let's just say that. That being said, that's awesome. So I know you mentioned your business partner who was somebody that you grew up with. Are you referring to Mark Paquin?
Yeah, Mark Paquin's one of my business partners
It's
I
a
grew up
French
with.
name, Dill. Paquin.
Yeah, that might be right. But he says Paquin, I'll tell you that. So yeah, and then he's one of my business partners as well as Alec Beckman, who are two of my best friends and business partners, and they're both on Crypto Rich actually.
Oh,
And
nice.
Mark has a few other songs as well, but Alec is just on that one song on Crypto Rich. That's his only song. So
That's awesome. Way to support your friends. I like that.
yeah, they're the only two features on there, and then Mark has a couple other good songs as well that he's made. And then Mark is also on the new album. So uh, Mark and then Wes Walker, who's one of my best friends from Jordan Belfort. Both of them are like my friends from middle school. Like we go way back. We were all friends in like middle school. But then we went to different high schools, but I stayed friends with Wes, and that's why we ended up making Jordan Belfort. But I mean, we were all homies, and so Mark and Wes are two of my best friends that have been on both of my albums.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Keep it in house. Well, I mean, I guess that speaks to the importance of having a good, solid team around you. So, what are some of the things that you look for in order to have people be, a part of what it is that you're trying to create?
Yeah, well, we have an amazing community, and we're very open and welcoming. And I think it's important to have like especially these days, a community and a way to onboard folks into what you're doing. So I bring people in through Discord and Twitter and Instagram and all these things, and they come in the community. And the people who are really engaged and active and involved have a lot of opportunities. But Right now I do a lot of things myself. I don't have a manager. I don't have a label or a distributor. My distributor is actually someone I know and work with, but still, it's very independent. It's really managed and run by me. And so I'm
Mm,
still learning how to build out the right team around me and how to get more opportunities and more connections because everything I've done has been a lot about connecting with people one on one, doing a lot of things myself, but a lot through, I would say, like the internet and online and not as much like industry connections. I would say I just do everything really independently. I
mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of like the industry handshake connections behind closed doors. Like I haven't met a lot of bigger people in the music industry.
Sure.
I haven't, collaborated with a lot of artists that I would love to collaborate with. So I'm trying to find more of those opportunities, and I'm going to be spending a lot more time, I think, out in LA this year, which could be positive for finding more collaborations and more industry connections and stuff. But yeah, I think that's the next step for me because I've really built up my brand so much and I have a lot to show for it. And I even have a good amount of sales, especially with Web3 and all these things that are happening. But it's really time for me to step that up to the next level.
Amazing. So let me ask you this then. According to you, what's more important, community building or audience building?
That's a good question. I mean, it depends what your goal is, I would say, but um, I think building up your audience is extremely important. The idea of community building and monetizing that is still newer, but I mean, I think an audience is a community at the same time, and you have to realize that you should kind of be building both because when you're building up your audience, you're building a community, you're building up a culture that people expect from you and that people, expect within what you're building. So, yeah, that's a tough one, but
Mm.
I would say building the audience is more important, and the community is going to come from the audience, to be honest.
Really? Okay. So Chantel, can I throw that question to you as well, or even Mariah? Kind of get your thoughts on this. I think it'd be a good way to maybe create a little bit of dialogue here, because to some, I mean, we emphasize, especially in this space, there's always an emphasis on the community, which is the number one thing that you hear. But then obviously you want consumers, right? Because at the end of the day, you're still trying to sell a product. So in essence, I'm just trying to figure out what your thoughts are. For you, Chantel, would it be, which one would you have to choose if you had to choose? Is it community or audience building?
Um, I honestly, I feel like I know it gets thrown around so wildly in Web3 like this for community, but if you really think about it, you want to build a community because you don't want people to be fickle. Like, it's probably so much easier to gain consumers in the short term.
Mm,
But if there's something that you're trying to build that's going to last, like you need community. And like, so even if you think about it, the artist, like let's take Beyonce, for example. Like perhaps Beyonce herself didn't go out of her way to create a community, but the Beehive is a community. And the
mm,
Hive, they're gangsta. And you can't tell them nothing about Beyonce. They will back Beyonce like till the end of time. And there's nothing you can't really like buy that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a group of people forming around a common interest. And that is something that's going to have longevity for generations, even after the artist is no longer here. So there's like a Bob Marley community, you know what I mean? Like a Jay-Z community. And these people find, they have this common ground that they stand on. And that's what carries these people to superstardom and kind of ingrains them in history to where they never disappear. So to me, if you're able to form a community that's going to keep growing and like moving through different generations, that brand is you're gonna make money for a long time after you die. You know, your estate, you're gonna keep making money for your family. So I think community is so important, and through community you can do so many different things. You know, you can activate an entire group of people behind one cause if you're able to really truly build a community. Whereas, you know, yeah, if you get consumers, like, they're kind of there for the moment because it's what's hot right now. You know, you want to form something that's going to carry you for a long time.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Shontelle. Yeah, go ahead, Mariah. Did you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I mean, Shontelle said it so eloquently. I don't even think there's much to add other than the fact that community is important in Web3 because of blockchain technology. With peer-to-peer transactions itself, you actually have to understand that this is a new culture, dynamic paradigm system, if you will, that we're even engaging with each other. And then to know that it's immutable, to know that it's permanent, to know that it is indefinite, if you will, right? So now we're reimagining and redesigning what community even looks like, and
Mm-hmm.
and its longevity. So I think that's why it's so important that we really focus on the community because of how it's structured.
Yeah, I appreciate that, ladies and gents. What I did want to add to that, though, is, when we talk about a Beyonce or like a Nicki Minaj, and they have those their loyal community. I mean, they have fans. I mean, those are what they are. Those are, I don't want to call them idol worshipers, but those are fans, diehard fans. So in essence, I feel like within the NFT space or the Web3 space, and Dill, maybe you can jump in on this. there's I think there's a hesitation between people to say that they are actual fans. Like, everybody obviously wants to be part of a community, but I think a lot of people want some form of stake in that community to some degree. Everyone has a mission or a purpose. Am I wrong to say that?
No, I think you're right. Sorry, Mariah. Um, I think you're right to say that. And I think also, when we really look at it, the community is, I think, a subset of the audience in a way. Because, like, you have your audience, and then the community, to me, is like your super fans and your supporters who are really showing up. And maybe in Web3 we call that collecting in an NFT, but they don't have to buy your NFT to be part of your community, right? They can go buy your merch. If they spend $200 on your site on merch, well, that's amazing. They're probably part of your community too, right? So I think it extends beyond, but I do think the community is like a subset of that audience as well. Like, Beyonce wouldn't have her Beehive until she became that superstar musician that she is, right? So I think every artist, and same for Bob Marley, right? So I think every artist has to, first, you have to create something, right? You have to make something. You have to put something out there. But you can start building your community from ground zero. And that's the key, is that you should build the community with the audience, right? And if you're doing your best, then maybe you can almost convert the whole, everybody in from the beginning. But I think that's the key too, is just like, you want to be building genuine connections with people that are going to last, rather than maybe surface level consumers, kind of like Shontelle and Mariah were saying.
Dope that you said that. So now I'm just curious to know. I know back in the days, labels used to have a target audience. How do you market to a target audience, if that even exists in the blockchain, or is it just sort of a free for all? Whoever latches on, latches on.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad way to put it. Right now, it's the Wild West. Nobody really knows anything about music NFTs. People barely know anything about NFTs. And then, of the people that are in NFTs, such a small portion of them even have music NFTs. And music NFTs are brand new and upcoming part of Web3. So I've been in this space for over 2 years now. I'm coming up on my 2 years since my first mint, which is actually on Tuesday. And we're having a big mint party. So we're actually having my biggest mint party ever on my 2 year mint anniversary. And as long as I've been in this space, I've just been trying to explain how music could be used in the space and figure it out. And in those early days, I was talking to a bunch of people who didn't know anything about the music industry and trying to talk to them about how music NFTs could work. But these people didn't understand the first thing about the music industry, and those early conversations were kind of tough. And it's come such a long way to now I can talk to people who really understand the industry and the problems with the industry and what NFTs could be good for solving. And they understand masters and publishing and
Yeah.
different rights associated with it. So you've really seen the community come a long way in terms of the level of conversation and the understanding of music NFTs.
Thank you for responding to that. That's absolutely correct. But I know that you have also, this is not a but I mean, I know that you've also labeled yourself a digital market expert. I'd like to know what qualifies someone as an expert because this space is so, I don't want to say new. I mean, but it is relatively new, right? So, what would qualify someone as a digital market expert?
A digital market expert?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I've said I'm a digital marketing expert in some of my content.
Through Advantage blockchain, right?
And yeah, I mean, I do a lot of digital marketing work and stuff like that. And I mean, I would say I'm not a blockchain expert per se. It just depends. There's a lot of ways, as a coder, an expert, as someone who knows how to use it, an expert. But I'm very well versed in the blockchain. I don't think it says anywhere that I said blockchain expert, but
No, no, no. I didn't. I didn't state that. You're absolutely correct. So, and the reason I ask is because I kind of want to know. So, this is a lead up question, right, Dill? So, digital market expert. I wanted to know what qualifies someone as an expert. I know that you've had your leg into the space since 2015, so it's very early on. But I want to know some of the strategies or marketing strategies that you've used to establish your brand, and what are you continuing to apply that you've used at the beginning as well? What has been the consistent strategy that you've used up until this point?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I've just worked on a lot of different projects in marketing. I've used everything from, paid ads to just consistent organic strategies, even to what I'm doing now here on Twitter has been working really well, hosting different shows and creating content. And I think when you talk about digital marketing, people often talk about like ads and stuff like that. I think SEO is also important. I'm pretty great at SEO. I'm also pretty great at other things like design and
What's SEO, Dill? For those who are just
sure.
dummies in this space. Me, I'm talking about me. And what's
Sure.
SEO?
SEO is search engine optimization. So, search engine optimization is about keywords and creating a website that's going to be coming up on the top of Google and stuff like that. So, I have experience with web design and everything from creating websites and making them optimized for Google and marketing and also design. So I can do all kinds of like graphics design and stuff like that, and that's been super helpful too. So, doing stuff like that has been a big part of my career. That's part of what I did at Vertalo was web design and marketing related. So I have a lot of experience doing digital marketing. And then, of course, everything I've done as an independent musician. I've had some success with that, and I've done some impressive numbers in a lot of different ways, and I've used a lot of different strategies. But I also think the game is constantly changing and evolving. And these days, I really think it's all just about organic traffic and putting out content and truly building up that organic community. Um, I'm kind of interested in like a distribution partnership with like a major label or something like that because there's still these backdoor deals like playlisting and
Right.
probably the use of other types of partnerships that you can create, even if it's just like collabs or working with certain people that might be able to, have a big audience themselves, stuff like that. So, anyway, I'm kind of interested in that type of marketing again, but the key is that I'm coming back with a lot more leverage behind me, a lot more knowledge behind me, a community that I've built here in Web3. And then the other part of it that I think about is, well, maybe we can just sell our music in Web3, make income off of that, and not worry so much about the streaming and all of that other stuff in Web 2 that people worry about, and just let that stuff come naturally over time. Because what I see as the biggest problem for artists in the music industry, or one of the biggest problems, is that the labels keep all the money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the labels keep the money from the artists, and what the artist needs is to be able to access some money. But the problem is, it takes years for the masters to really generate a lot of income. A lot of times it can take years for those masters to really start making income on streaming. So if we can get some of that funding from NFTs and from our communities here in Web3 and those sales, then maybe we don't even need to worry about some of the typical Web 2 stuff that we've thought about for the last decade.
Well said. Well said. Now, I'd like to know, how do you help people use and extract value from blockchain technology?
For sure. Well, that's a great question. We've been doing it for a long time through Advantage Blockchain. The biggest thing I would say we've done is through portfolio management, helping people invest into crypto. And we now are registered as a hedge fund with Advantage Blockchain. So we have a small to medium sized portfolio under management over there that's run by Mark. He's really in charge of that. I don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. I do music NFTs full time, and we've built an amazing community in music NFTs as well. And I've helped thousands of artists in NFTs, especially in music NFTs, but in all kinds of NFTs. And on a daily basis, we host the Twitter Spaces where we bring up artists all day and share their work with amazing people like Keith right here, NFT Kid. And Fred is always on there, and he's talking about the culture cards. And I'm hosting my own shows. Keith hosts shows. Doodlegenics hosts shows. So we're constantly there every day, providing a platform for artists to come up and get their work spotlighted. And we've helped facilitate thousands of NFT sales. I mean, we might be over 10,000 at this point. But we've seriously helped thousands of artists make NFT sales every single day. We're helping them, and then I also have this community where we have over 3,000 in my Discord, which is like a 24/7 chat where people can go and ask any questions they might have, whether it's about NFTs, Web3, marketing, about my NFTs, sharing their own NFTs, and also one thing to realize that I created my community, the Dilluminati community is what we call it. I created it before I was into NFTs and Web3. So it really just started out as a digital marketing group for creators. And I would tell people to join it from Instagram. Before I was even into Web3 and NFTs for music, it was started as a community for digital marketing and musicians and creators. And of course, then it turned into my Discord for my NFTs and stuff. But I had that Discord for my community before I was doing anything with NFTs.
I'm curious to know. Well, first and foremost, the Illuminati. I know there's a lot of people probably thinking quite a bit of things. I mean, I'm one of those people that over processes information, but we won't get into that just yet. What I want to get into, however, is I'm kind of curious to know, obviously with the way that the market is right now, it's, still fairly open, still fairly new. People are sort of dipping their toes in and, staying out of it for the most part. But, and there's no sort of gatekeeping system that exists in real life with, let's say, record labels or the entertainment industry. There's always a gatekeeper system going on. Do you think that the blockchain, I guess we'll call it the blockchain space, do you think that that's going to develop some form of hierarchy?
In what way do you mean by that?
In every way possible. I mean, I feel like if we're creating a landscape in the metaverse, right? If we're creating an environment in the metaverse, surely there's going to be some people who are going to reach, you know, higher status than others, right? So just like in the entertainment industry, you have, you know, the gatekeepers that don't necessarily let you in. Is there a system going on within the blockchain space or NFT space specifically that is similar to what I'm describing?
I mean, I think it's pretty open and decentralized from what I can see. I mean, in some ways, there's been, platforms and other things like that that might choose favorites or favor some of the celebrities and record labels and stuff like that. But at the same time, some of the most successful artists I've seen are independent artists. I've seen myself grow extremely quickly in the space. While maybe others didn't work quite as hard and are just kind of moving at their own journey. And then I've also seen others who have just surpassed me in many different ways on their own. So I've seen that, and I think it just goes to show that the journey is in strides, and at different times people have different stages and strides and growth. But there truly is an opportunity for anyone to come in and be successful. And I think one of the things that I typically see is like people go crazy for like celebrity music NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. It's great to support your favorite artists, but we've seen a lot of celebrities come into the space and do projects that have been, less than ideal, and maybe sometimes by an honest mistake, and maybe other times there just have been a total cash grab, and that's not good either. And it's a lot of times it's because the artists don't even see the full potential of the space here.
Right.
They see the opportunity to maybe sell something quick or sell something that to me is have a lot of stuff has been scammy, when they should really be focusing on how to put their real music and their records and their content into this ecosystem, rather than just trying to extract money out of it. And so, even if an artist could make, $1 million on this space, well, if they're actually selling their music in this space, they can make 10 million or 100 million. I mean, the potential of all this technology is huge. So I would say the biggest advantage in this space is the earlier you get in and the earlier you start building, the better, because you need to start from ground zero, and you need to start from zero collectors. It's like starting on a new social media or a new platform. So, there's going to be some big celebrities or big artists that can come right in and sell out instantly, but you have to be in pretty high demand to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is going to have to just start grinding. Um, and even some of the bigger celebrities and bigger artists, they're going to have to build up their brand here in the community first and come, to the real streets of Web3 and the people that are out here grinding. And we've seen people that just, try to drop without truly being involved in the community. And unfortunately, what happens sometimes is they sell a lot of NFTs. Maybe even they sell out on the hype, but they don't really understand how to come in the community daily, or they don't see the value or the necessity of it. A month later, their NFTs have lost value and lost
Mm-hmm.
price. And now, all those customers that you just sold your NFTs to, they're never going to want to buy from you again, because you gave them a product that you didn't put real value behind and didn't build the community in a genuine way. So when the price reflects that, and it goes down, everyone's going to feel like, well, now they lost some money on your collectibles and your products, and nobody wants to buy them anymore. And we've seen that story happen so many times. And I just tend to think, why is anyone going to want to buy your NFTs after you do that to them? So I focus on creating valuable NFTs for my whole community.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you for answering that. Now, I definitely want to know. I read somewhere that I don't know if you were the founder or if you worked at Breakbeat Entertainment. That's not the same as Breakbeat Media, is it?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Thought you
I
were
don't
affiliated
know.
with Dave Mays for a second.
No, no, no. I don't know Breakbeat Media. Breakbeat Entertainment is like a small entertainment company that me and Wes did in high school where we did like he would DJ and I would MC. We did like small like school dances and parties and stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I was like, is there a connection here? That's awesome. Can you imagine? You should have just hung on to that title, that name. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, that was really a throwback. I mean, we were in like high school, but we did a good job. We had fun with it.
I'm that's awesome. I'm digging, Dill. I'm digging. Digging for information that is. But that being said, I'd like to maybe drift off into a little bit of tech conversation because obviously you understand this landscape and so maybe you can see some things that maybe somebody like myself doesn't necessarily pick up on or see. So guys, just go ahead and retweet the room, by the way, and also follow our website or our Discord rather, which you can find on my hyperlink on my page here, or Frenchie's. I don't know if Shontelle has it up or not, but you can click on my name, go onto my page, you'll find the hyperlink there. That's a link to our website, which is coming out soon. Retweet the room, follow our Discord for more information. Now, on blockchain news, it was reported that Algorand, I think it's called, wallets were hacked. What would need to happen in order to ensure safety from theft or loss moving forward, you think?
I don't really know much about the Algorand wallet hack, but a lot of times with hacks, it's due to a phishing site or something like that. So ultimately, it comes down to more education and more built-in safety to the wallets, but people really need to understand what they're doing. And one of the problems with crypto is that not everyone has enough education, and the wallets aren't necessarily built in a foolproof way yet. So we still need more time to make the technology completely foolproof. And for anyone using the blockchain, make sure you have the proper education and that you're not just clicking on anything or connecting your wallet to anything, just like you wouldn't, you know, leave your wallet out in public. You wouldn't want to just connect your wallet out to anything in blockchain. That's kind of how it is.
Got it. Well, these days still people take pictures with their stacks. But let's not get into that. Chantel, please jump on in.
I just wanted to put it out there that there's a platform called, there's a, it's called Wallet Guard for people who might not be able to trust themselves with protection of their wallets. And so if you use Wallet Guard, it will literally tell, like, if you try to click on a link or connect to a weird site, it will literally not allow you to do it and tell you not to do it. So that's one. There's a couple others, but I know Wallet Guard works for sure.
Yeah, any of the tech people jump on in. This is really your area because I'm learning, right? So yeah, thank you for that, Chantel.
There's also a really cool app. Since you said the techies could jump in, there's a really cool app that's integrating AI to actually foretell rug pulls.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, it's so there's an app called Foolproof, and then there's another, like, with an intermediary inside of that company is also developing and adding AI, right? So I just think it's really cool that we actually have better security now to protect ourselves, because from the engineering point of view, we're going to get to a point where the computers are going to be able to fight themselves, right? So now if you can actually
Mm.
create a mechanism that fights that computer, now we have that level of security we need. And that's how we can actually utilize AI and quantum mechanics. But I won't get into that. But yeah.
Yeah, yes, please, not yet. I'm getting there, not yet. But I do want to know, just for the listeners just joining in, those who don't have a background in tech or have an understanding in this space, what is a rug pull? That was for you, Mariah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, ask Dill to answer this. I don't know. Yeah,
Dill,
because
can you tell us what a rug pull is?
Yeah, rug pull just means a project that takes all your money and runs. It means a scam.
Ah.
It means and why they say that is because it's like the rug's getting pulled out from under you. So that's just like what they say in the Web3 streets when someone takes all your money and scams you and runs away with it. But the thing to realize is that that's not only in Web3, right? You have Forex trading scams probably in your Instagram DM right now if you open it up.
Bruh.
So, right? So, like, it's not just crypto where these kind of things happen. There's all kinds of scams, but rug pull is a word that came out of the crypto community because people are sick of getting that rug pulled out from under them and getting all their
Got
money
it.
taken.
And then there's like the soft rug where like it's not necessarily that the founders like ran with the money, but they really weren't prepared. They don't understand like creating an NFT project is essentially like a startup. It's a company, it's a business, you know? And so even sometimes people will successfully mint out and then they literally don't know what to do. They totally mismanage the project. Nothing happens. The floor tanks, everyone dips and like sells off everything, and then the value of the entire project is like sub-zero, and then all the holders are sat there like basically exit liquidity and just like totally pissed. So that's a soft rug where it's like not that the founders did it intentionally, but they just don't know what they're doing, and you still get screwed.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chantel. And I think what a lot of people fail to realize, and maybe this will help some people who are newer to Web3 and newer to NFTs to understand what an NFT community is really all about, is like when you go out and sell the NFT, you need to then build something with that. You need to make something more around it. You need to deliver value to those collectors. You need to make more art as an artist. You need to create more content. You need to grow your brand. And just like anyone who might take a pre-order or might take, try to build something and not finish or not deliver, there's plenty of people in the space who don't deliver. And in many ways, NFTs is kind of like taking pre-orders. And
Mm.
you're going out to your community and you're kind of taking pre-orders for a product or a service that you have to deliver on. So especially for a new community, and especially when the market was going crazy, people would sell all these NFTs and then they wouldn't build anything or they wouldn't deliver any value behind that. And so, unfortunately, that's how a lot of projects, long term, they're not able to provide value and no one wants to buy them anymore, and then they become worth nothing. But there's projects like mine that have been delivering for a long time that have created value on the blockchain, and the NFTs hold up as valuable. So we've proven that we actually deliver that value, and it gets to the point where now a Dill NFT, it already is a product. It already is a service when you get it. There already is a community there. So you just got to understand that there's different type of NFTs that are at different points in their journeys. But it's unfortunate, but people get rugged out on new projects. They think they're getting into something new and they think they're getting into something exciting, but then they don't build anything of value.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. So that's some good advice actually. I wanted to also maybe highlight with the lack of regulation in this space, right? Because I did mention the hacking, and obviously we always hear about the frauds, and even more recently I think there was a crash of some sort, but I don't know if that plays into it or not. What I understood is that Securities and Exchange Commission is trying to rein in the US crypto industry. I mean, if the government comes into play, obviously there's not much of a decentralized system going on at this point. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. Well, right now, especially in the past like 48 hours, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Like, it's almost like a coordinated attack against crypto happening now.
Aha.
And it's literally like the Silicon Valley Bank just went under, and like Silvergate Bank, one of the biggest banks in crypto, just went under. And like that's deeper than just crypto. Like the whole
Oh,
tech
for sure.
industry, the whole tech industry and banking is getting turned upside down in like the last 48 hours.
Yeah, like that means, if these giant banks die, like so many startups just folded because that's where they get their money and their loans and
Mm-hmm.
investments. And so yeah, any businesses that were linked to those banks, it's
But
like a huge, what do you call it? Some type of event, like mass extinction event of businesses that just happened in the last 48 hours.
Black Swan event.
Yeah.
And MJ, I just wanted to add, it's worth
jump
noting,
in.
and it's worth talking about specifically for us in our community, MJ, because they were predominantly investing in Black and Brown communities, the ones that had been qualified and eligible. So, for instance, there's an organization called Black VC that literally was one of their initial institutional investors. And the numbers are actually that over 50% of the venture capital space was actually invested with Silicon Valley Bank. So it's more, um, we haven't actually felt the effects yet. I can say that, MJ.
Yeah, thank you for that. Frenchie, are you on? Did you want to add to that as well? Because I see you came up off your mic and you finally got the mic. No? Can y'all hear him? No. Okay.
Here he is.
Go ahead, French. We can hear you.
In 13 kilometers, take exit 429 BC onto Highway 16 east towards
Oh, he
Berry
is
NFT
riding
Kid.
I
dirty. Let's.
don't think that's he's trying to talk.
Yeah. No. No. Let's go ahead. He is riding dirty right now. Frenchie. I just muted his mic, but he keeps on muting y'all.
It must be like a butt situation, like in his
No,
phone and
don't do me
talking.
like this. Okay, it's okay. We can talk over his music. Hopefully we won't know exactly where he's going because he's taking docs to another level. He's like, see me? Come find me. No, we don't want to do that, Fred. We gotta protect you. No, we can't even protect him even if we wanted to. Okay. So yeah, I think Mariah to the point, and even Dill, you mentioned, it's something bigger at play. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have caught wind of, goodness, if I can even remember the name of the organization, like the World Finance. Some help me out here.
World Economic Forum.
There you go. There you go. That's the one. Boom, hit it. So yeah, I mean, we see what's going on. Obviously, there's definitely sort of a movement happening, and it's just a matter of when, not necessarily if, right? You mentioned with all the carefully orchestrated changes that we've been witnessing in the market space, but crypto news announced that blockchain industry is also about to um, boost the, I guess, the crypto blockchain space rather, with over 100 million in funds, right? And these are coming from digital asset fund firm, I should say. Was it called Alpha Sigma Capital? And the other one was Transform Ventures. So there's a lot going on. I think that, as you said, it's carefully orchestrated movements to sort of create a, I don't want to say the word takeover, but a takeover. Am I wrong to say that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's exactly happening or what's going to happen on a broader scale in terms of world events. Yeah, I know. I think these could be the first dominoes falling in some type of bigger events, but let's see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen. And well, all I can say is that crypto has been around for a long time. I've seen it go up, I've seen it go down. We might not be at the bottom of this cycle, but I do think we're going to go to even higher heights long term. And I think when it comes to regulation coming in, we
Mm-hmm.
have seen this story for the last better part of a decade as well. The government's been talking about crypto regulation. It's like basically a community joke at this point about China banning crypto. Like
Right.
China bans and unbans crypto, like it's a joke at this point. So anyway, we've seen that, but when it comes to music NFTs, and here's the alpha for NFT collectors, not just music NFTs, but anyone building an NFT community, is that with my NFTs, the Dill NFTs, they are a product and a service. When you buy the Dill NFT, it immediately gets you access to a product and a whole bunch of services. At the very minimum, it is a license that allows you to access all of my music, to download it, and to also use it within your own content as an NFT artist, as a creator, as an app designer, as a game designer. So if you're building a game or you're an artist and you want to make some art to collaborate with me and use my music and make some art and put it on the blockchain, when you buy a Dill NFT, you get a license that facilitates that. The license is publicly available on my website. It's easy to find. Anyone can go read through it and use it. And it's simple. It just says if you hold a Dill NFT, you get access to this license. And here's the pre approved for profit use cases, because there's pre approved for profit use cases. And at the bottom of that license, you know what it says? It says, ask me if you have any ideas for a profit partnership. Let's profit partner. So anyone can bring me deals. Anyone can really be my manager, help to bring me deals or licensing deals or distribution deals or anything like that. But at the basic level, that's just one of many different features you get access to. So I also offer access to shows, concerts, merchandise. For my VIP collectors, I give all different types of stuff, and I even give free access to new merchandise, free access to new music and new NFTs. And also, we have an amazing community behind it, a chat community, and you get a special status in our Discord chat among all the community members. And paying for a special status in the digital community is nothing new. Maybe some people have heard of Twitch. I mean, people
Mm.
pay on Twitch. You get a subscription, you get a status, you support creators, and you get a community role for that. And so that's very similar to what we're doing here. And when you buy the Dill NFT, you get access to be a part of what we're building. So there's many different use cases for it, but I think even with the license alone, you can see how it's an immediately usable product and service. And so when it comes to regulations, I'm not worried, because what I'm selling is truly a product. It's truly a service. And what's to be worried about with regulations is, are you selling a security that's a purely an investment vehicle? And that's not what the Dill NFTs are. They're not a security investment vehicle. They're more like a limited concert ticket. And if you want to come to the Dill show in the metaverse and be a part of our community, and you want to get those front row seats, and you want to get that high status, you got to pay the price, right? And if more people are coming to the concert in the metaverse, those front row seats are going to go up in price, like those Taylor Swift tickets. So that's the thing. It's more like a digital version of Taylor Swift tickets being, $10,000 or whatever, than it is like an illegal security. So with all the other garbage in this burning pit of shit coins that we call crypto, I'm not worried.
Thank you for responding to that. And actually, Dill, I sense a little hostility when you mentioned when you mentioned crypto in that manner. Um, Obviously, you're a crypto investor. How did the recent crypto crash affect you? It was reported that the loss was upwards of like 300 million. Did that affect you at all?
I mean, the crypto market's going down. I'm an NFT artist, so I mean, it's not. I'm getting all of my income from NFTs and crypto and music, so obviously it's not ideal. But we're still able to sell NFTs, and we've seen music NFTs continue to grow and continue to sell during the downturn of the market. So no negativity on my end towards crypto. Like I said, I've been here 6, 7 years. I've seen bull market, bear market, up, down. I'm used to it by now, so it doesn't really bother me anymore. But when I talk about crypto, I mean, sort of what I'm getting at is there's just so many grifters, scammers, dishonest projects, people that are trying to just steal your money. So it is advisable to get a lawyer and make sure everything you do is done the right way. But if you're not trying to steal people's money, or you're not going out and taking a huge amount of money and making massive promises that you can't fulfill, you're probably okay. You know, some people, they go crazy worrying about nonsense when it's like, listen, you haven't even sold $100 of NFTs. You don't need to be talking to your tax accountant. Like, you know what I mean? People start talking crazy. I mean, it's like, go sell 1,000. You know, go sell $1,000 of NFTs, and then you can worry about taxes and lawyers and shit. Like, people kind of get a little bit crazy. So that's the other thing, is I don't want, of course, do things the right way, but you don't need to talk to tax and lawyers before you make any sales either. So you don't need to go completely that way.
Dill, kind of unfair. Your mom's a lawyer.
I was gonna say that.
Kind
That's
of unfair,
Well, she
Dill.
doesn't know a damn thing about the blockchain, and you know, so that's not any help to me there. But I'm saying go out and sell some shit and try some shit, because people get all worried, and I hate to see that too. People, like, I've had people who be like talking about tax implications of crypto. I'm like, you haven't even made any money trading crypto. Why are you telling me all about the tax implications? Like, the truth of the matter is, with crypto and taxation, is like, you have to be responsible for your own taxes. If you want to defraud the IRS, there's a million ways to do it, with crypto or without crypto, and people do it every day, right? People don't report taxes on all kinds of things outside of crypto.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think my main point is like, go out there and try to sell something. If you're an artist, if you're a creator, if you're a musician in Web3, don't worry so much about all the noise. Just put something on the blockchain and try to sell it. It doesn't have to be expensive. Put one of your songs or one of your pieces of art, or an old something old you did, or a photo that you have, and try to sell it for a couple dollars and see what it feels like, or join in the community and see what it's about. So that's what this is. We're all experimenting, we're all learning, and that's how I got to where I am in Web3, by experimenting and learning. And now we've built something that's really cohesive and
Mm-hmm.
community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that as well. Um, I want to know your mindset, and I won't keep you hostage much longer. I know the girls are probably going to want to jump into this conversation as well, but like it or not, AI is, taking over. We know that it's coming. It's coming in fury. We don't have a choice. We can't escape it. Now, recently, Discord updated its bot with Chat GPT, which will feature AI generated conversations. I want to know what your thoughts are on what that would look like in the landscape of NFTs, blockchain, just the whole community. Go ahead, Dill. Jump on it.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I've been doing some cool stuff with Chat GPT. I'll write a song about you right here, right now, and sing it to you live. I've been messing around doing some cool stuff with that. So I've been writing AI songs and singing them live on the spaces lately, and I've gotten pretty good at it, I must say. But I haven't even practiced that much yet. But I don't know about this Discord thing. What did you? So they're gonna add a Discord Chat GPT. I mean, I'm all about it, and I think AI is interesting and cool, and there's cool use cases for it, and yeah, there's cool use cases for it in art. I work with AI artists and help them in our chats every day, and yeah, I'm in full support of the AI art movement. At the end of the day, it's just another tool. I was thinking of this earlier today, and I've actually never really said it out loud before, but the AI discussion is just like people would say about digital music when it first started. Like,
Mm.
oh, you can't make digital music. It's not as good as analog music, and no one's gonna digitally make all this music, right? And now here we are 10 years later, everybody makes digital music. You know, everybody's using samples in digital music, and blah blah blah. And then even the same thing on another iteration for auto tune. It's like, and people still hate auto tune, and that's fine. People are always gonna hate auto tune, and people are always gonna love auto tune, and there's gonna be people who always hate AI, and there's gonna be people who love AI. But the inevitable truth is that it's gonna just be another tool that people can use, and I think it's interesting, and I'm having fun learning how I could use it. So written. I think I have now 3 songs written down that I wrote with AI that I just made from messing around, trying them. And now what I do is when they come out good, I write them down. And so now I'll have a bunch of songs written that I wrote with AI. So anytime I need a song, I'll just be like, boom, here's a song. And they're pretty good, honestly. And the best ones, I have to give it like the idea. Or so at the end of the day, you have to give the AI the best ideas, I think. So it really does matter about the artist behind it and the person that's going to promote it or market the work and sell it ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you found some benefit to it. I know that there are people who may not be on the same viewpoint. You know what? I'm gonna call it cheap GPT. I don't want to call it chat GPT anymore. It's cheap GPT. But I mean, you can write songs still. So I mean, for you, it's nothing. Like you're just utilizing this tool as in addition. Like you're like T-Pain, right? Like we all know he can sing without the auto tune, or he can do his thing without the tool itself. So I don't know, Shontelle, Mariah, any thoughts on this new system, this new AI Chat GPT taking over music, creating the music for you?
Well, I have a question for Dill.
Go for it. Jump on in.
Dill, how are you gonna feel if or when, not if, when your likeliness and image and your style and your voice is duplicated and there's like another, Jordan Belfonte, like what happens then? Are you feeling
Like with a deep fake or something. I mean, I think they can like emulate and fake stuff and all that. But
Because Dill, listen, if you think about it, right, this is where my head goes, if you will, if you guys want to know my quirky brain sometimes. If we're entering the metaverse and everyone's digital identity is now like able to be duplicated down to your literal voice and inflection and everything, right? Who and what is actually going to authenticate, the real thing between the metaverse and our real world, like actually? Because you were talking about the concerts, right? So who's to say an AI just doesn't say, "Hey, I'm Dill, I'm having a concert too." What do you do then?
well, I don't know. Well, at that point, then it's like
The
copyright or
lawyers are
something.
involved. I knew it.
Yeah, then the lawyers are coming in. I don't know, but
We just
yeah,
gonna be like taking AI to court, like Dill versus
yeah. Well, my lawyer will be Chat
for
GPT.
infringement
Hold
and
on now.
for
I
all kinds
actually
of shit.
overheard, and I forgot where I heard this from, but I heard that AI identifies itself as a independent from any sort of regulatory body system. So you can't actually get at
Oh,
AI.
word.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
AI
Well,
I'm
decided
serious. That's
there
that's
was
this.
what
an
it says.
AI that
It's one of the terms.
Well,
there was an
it's not about
AI that is lawyer.
not saying this, MJ. It was actually precedented in court so that this is happening. So we're not right now able to protect ourselves technically in the court of law from AI just yet. And that's the reality of it. So that's why I wanted
Dill's
to
in
ask Dill.
trouble now. Go ahead, Dill. I'm kidding.
Well, there actually was an AI that was acting as like a lawyer and like defending someone
That's
in a court of law too. I mean, it's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean, ChatGPT and AI and all that stuff, it's cool. There's interesting use cases for it, but it's not like it's not like the most creative thing ever. Like it's not. So it's not gonna make you the best song, most creative song ever. And like even then you're gonna need to deliver it the right way to make it sound good. And then even then you might want to change some stuff up if you really want to make the song good. So Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool tool that can enhance or speed up certain things. But at the end of the day, it just goes off the inputs that you give it too. So I don't know. It's just a tool.
Got it. So I just want to let you guys know, for those of you raising your hands, I'm going to bring you guys up to the floor in just a moment. Please keep your hands raised. I would love to get you guys to jump in on the conversation or ask your questions directly to Dill or the subject matter experts, Shontelle and Mariah, of course. But I just wanted to throw this back at Shontelle. I know, Dill, that you've been in spaces with Frenchy, so you sort of kind of know what we do. Do you mind if I ask you, what's your take on the culture cards? Are you familiar with what it is that we actually do?
Of course, I'm in the first round of
Yeah,
drops.
still, I know. For the listening audience,
So,
still.
of course, of course. I can't wait to be involved with it. And yeah, I mean, Culture Cards is going to be a great project supporting so many people who've been essential to the culture. And I love it because you guys are supporting some of the OGs of the culture, you know, from traditional and Web 2 and history and people that go back, but also some of the new people and some of the legends here that are innovating in Web 3. And it's just great to see what Fred has done in building the community and bringing so many people together. And I think it's going to be great to really see a project that represents the culture in Web3 and bringing that all together and hopefully making a lot of amazing connections along the way. So I think it's really important to bring some of these OGs into Web3. They have large communities around them. They have great people around them, and we just need to make sure that with the proper education, the proper onboarding, that we can bring some more of these communities into Web3 and make sure they avoid those rugs and they avoid those scams and they avoid some of those negative things that we've seen that have caused other collections to fail. So, if we can build a better way forward and make sure that everybody is protected from the hacks, the wallet hacks, protected from the rugs and the scams, and protected from getting in over their heads and, you know, making these big promises by, you know, just building a community organically. So that's what I've seen coming from you guys, just building here every day, and coming from Fred, bringing in amazing people and connecting others through the culture. I mean, we already seen Keith NFT Kid, Keith Berry right here connected to Mike Tyson. So, I mean, amazing stuff like that is already happening here through the community, and love to see it and happy to be a part of it.
Thank you for that, Dill. That's really dope. I'm glad that you. How dare you? No, I mean, it's so nice to see that the vision that we're trying to put forward is actually being received in that way, because that's exactly our intention. So it's really nice to get that sort of confirmation that we are on the right track in building our brand, our business, our community. More importantly, I don't know, Shontelle, Mariah, did you want to jump in and add to that?
I could go ahead and do my whole culture
Oh my
card
goodness,
spiel.
not for the people who have just come in. Absolutely.
All right, let me break down the culture cards for everyone. Culture Cards is a Web3 project focused on narrowing the gap between the architects of the culture and our fans. So we aim to provide a peer-to-peer ecosystem that rewards the fans for supporting and uplifting all our legends. That's right. What's happening?
DJ's back in the building.
Oh,
Yes, is he
Frenchy's
back,
back.
or was that like an unmuted by accident back?
I don't know, because if Frenchy's back, maybe we could
Frenchy,
let
can you
Frenchy
throw us a
speak
heart?
for
Can we know
himself.
that you're here? Nah, he's still riding dirty. Okay, go ahead.
Frenchy is riding dirty. All right, let me get back into it. Yeah, so we're essentially a Web3 project, built to uplift the architects of the culture and essentially ensure that they're never left behind. And it's basically a peer-to-peer ecosystem between the fans and the architects. So we are built on Solana blockchain. Obviously, we wanted to choose a blockchain that was going to be easy to use, fast, and no gas fees. uh, how does Culture Cards work? Very simple. We have signed over 200 plus legends of the culture, including J-Lo, The Game, Mike Tyson, Benny Boom, DJ Who Kid, and so many other artists, athletes, dancers, choreographers, movie and music video directors. And the holders of our trading cards will be able to burn these cards to redeem a myriad of prizes and exclusive experiences. For example, you could get backstage concert access. You could get a plaque. For example, J Lo is offering her the very first plaque from her first album ever. One-on-one meetings and sessions, merch, all kinds of things. So you can almost think of it like you're becoming, like a partner or joining the team of your favorite artist or architect and growing together. Culture Cards also reserves a portion of the mint funds to our creator wallet, which serves to aid our architects in various ways wherever needed. So, for example, we've even been able to pay a full year of rent for someone. We've been able to fund surgeries and help people get their projects off the ground. So it's a cool way, for fans and creatives and architects of the culture alike to sort of work together to move things forward for the culture. So if you're interested, follow the Culture Cards, follow our host MJ, follow Fred Frenchy, myself and Mariah, and stay in tune with what we got going. We have drops coming soon. Dill up here with us is a part of the very first Culture Cards drop, and so we're very, very excited about that. And yeah, I hope everybody's going to grab some of these cards.
Yes, that's awesome. Very, very, very well said. And I'm going to throw the mic at you, Mariah, in just a second. I just want to let you guys know, if you just click on my page or on Fred Frenchy's page, if he's still on the stage, yes, he is, he's still there. You will find a hyperlink to our website, which is dropping soon, but you can actually be navigated into our Discord through that channel, through that hyperlink, and just follow our Discord and you'll be able to follow up with everything that we've got going on. Go ahead, Mariah.
I was only going to add that the room needs to know this is a one-of-a-kind experience and collection that will never be duplicated. So when we talk about the utility of a project and we talk about the authentication and we talk about the scarcity, if you will, comparing to Bitcoin, I really want you all to understand that this is one of its kind. So now you're joining an experience of the culture that is truly authenticated. So there's no better place than the Culture Cards. I'll leave it at that.
I love the way that you said that. Well, I definitely wanted to grab some questions. If anyone has any questions to ask our wonderful guests or our subject matter experts, there's no question too dumb. There's no question that is not, worthy of being asked. By all means, don't be shy. Come on up, ask your question. Even if you are an artist trying to get your into the door, this is your time to shine. And remember, no one can see you in real life. All right, so I'll leave the floor open, but Dill, before we get out of here, do you want to go ahead and serenade me with that wonderful tune you mentioned that you had created with ChatGPT? I'm trying to be sung to, honey.
Oh, all right. I have to make one up. All right, I'm gonna make
All
one
right,
up
so
right
we'll
now
let you do
just
that.
for
We'll give
you
you a couple of
guys.
seconds here. Anyone got any questions? Now is your time. Yes, some of us are single. No, we do not want a sugar daddy. I'm kidding. I'm almost.
We did have a
I
bunch of people
know.
requesting earlier, but we
I
probably had to
know.
dip.
It's all right, guys. Maybe next time.
Come on, guys. This is what Web3 is all about. Shoot your shot. This might be your moment. Come talk to Bill. Bill's the GOAT. I'm not playing.
And also in future, guys, whenever you join these spaces, by all means, just make sure that if you want to come up on stage, have your questions ready. Alexis Texas is just a listener. Please do not ask her any questions. Thank you ahead of time. She will not be taking any questions today.
All right.
We just had a request, but it was
No,
looking like one of them
a
trolls.
fan, a super fan. She got them fans, honey. My inbox be
There you
blowing
go.
up for her.
Oh, it was an Alexis fan.
All right. Tell me what style of beat I should use. Give me like an artist. Like, give me an artist, and I'll use a beat in their style.
No, Joey
MJ,
Badass,
Lil
Joey
Uzi
Badass, Joey
Vert type
Badass.
beat.
No. I already said it, Joey
Lil
Badass.
Uzi Vert. Joey Badass. All right.
Joey's been killing it lately too.
He's been killed.
Yeah.
Did you see his version of Bonita Applebaum? I was like, wow,
He's
I
so
didn't even know
talented,
he
but
could
go
sing
ahead,
like
Yo,
Dylan.
that.
what's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on?
There you are.
Fred.
He has
I
arrived.
finally
He has
arrived.
Destination arrived.
Yeah, I've arrived. I'm in Auckland, New Zealand. So we have a show tonight with the dog. So yeah, I'm here. But I was listening. I don't know. My music was pretty loud. So
Well, Frenchie, right now, Dill, we were talking about AI a minute ago, and Dill said that he finds it to
yeah.
be a tool that could actually benefit some of the artists. And he's actually utilized this tool to some degree to create music, and he's about to serenade me directly because I need to be sung to. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Through Chat GPT,
Yeah,
through AI.
I made you all a song, but it's actually all right, I got you. All right, hold on. Hold on, I gotta try that one more time.
It doesn't
Oh
sound as
no.
efficient. I don't know. It's
Everybody that
Well,
I know who tried it is like, Chat GPT writes songs, but they're like nursery rhymes, like
no,
basically.
they're good. No, I disagree with that. I actually disagree with that. They're pretty good.
Well, I guess it learns pretty fast, so maybe it like upped the ante a bit since then.
All right.
so when Frenchie wants to, yeah, go ahead.
Make
When
that one
Frenchie
more
wants
thing.
to release his first track, we'll know how to do it. Frenchie, I got you. I'll produce it.
All right.
This is dope
I'm
too.
about to
I've
get
never
work
seen
with
this done
this.
live, so I'm so hyped right now. Like I'm good. I got my
All right,
popcorn. I'm ready.
here we go. All right, I've never heard this beat before. Never
Man, Dill,
seen
don't
these
give us no
lyrics before.
disclaimer.
Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Culture cards. The culture cards. The culture cards. Hey. Let's get it. Okay. Yo, have you met my friend MJ? They're a real OJ in the game, bringing culture to the metaverse. NFT trading cards, they'll be immersed. Yeah, they got the knowledge and the skills to bring the old school to new thrill. From the streets to the web and the bridging the gap with no fret. We gotta get it. Yeah, we gotta get it like every day. I said the culture cards, they're the real deal. With MJ leading the way, it's done deal. They're taking over metaverse with the trading cards that no one can traverse. And they're going hard. MJ's got the vision and the drive to bring the culture to the web. It's no drive. With each card they create, it's a piece of history. It's great. And we're gonna show them how to do it, how they make. From the OGs to the new school, they're showing it the world how to be cool with digital art and sound and spreading culture all around. I said we got it. Yeah, we really got it, and we're keeping it on topic, so we're really rocking. Culture cards, they're the real deal. With MJ leading the way, it's a done deal. They're taking over the metaverse with NFT trading cards. No one can traverse, yeah. No one can traverse, yeah. Nobody could cross it. Nobody could cross it. Yeah. Hold up. I got more for you. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Let me tell you about Shontelle. She's a mastermind behind the spell, creating cards that embody grace. In the metaverse, they found their place. And then there's Fred. He's oh so fly. His cards will make you feel like you could touch the sky. Bring a flavor to the mix. With his cards, you be in a fix. And we can't forget Mariah with her cards like a symphony in the choir. And each one she tells a story. In the metaverse, she's soaring. The culture cards, they're the real deal. With MJ leading the way, it's a done deal. Shontelle, Fred, and Mariah in the crew. The NFT trading cards, they are something new. Oh, the culture cards. The culture cards. Oh, the culture cards. Yeah, that's the culture cards. Shontelle, Fred, and Mariah, they're in the crew. NFT trading cards that make you swoon.
Ooh.
We got an
Oh,
official theme
that was
song,
cold,
y'all.
man. That was
That
cold.
was Chat GPT. That was cheap GPT with a hint of dill. Just a flavor.
Well, the only reason it had all the other people at the end is because I couldn't add that till the end. But if I would have just redone it one more time, I could have had everybody
Hey,
sprinkle
we
throughout the
need our
whole
theme
thing.
music, Dill. I will let you work that
But that
out.
was that was of the dome. Like what it was like a real freestyle.
Yeah.
What?
I'm
Oh snap!
so glad
Wait,
that
wait,
that
So,
wait,
was
y'all.
recorded
all
Can you
right,
because
please?
now
so
you can take that and make the real themes. Like
yes,
that
I
was
can. I can
hard.
copy it. I'll tell you what I do. So, I get ChatGPT to write it, and then I put on a beat. But I've practiced for like hours now, just reading it and then rapping it. So
Yo,
like now I'm pretty good at just reading a completely new script, a completely new verse that I never seen before, and just rapping it over a beat that I never heard before. It definitely took me like a few hours of practice to get good, but now I can pretty much do it. But it's interesting, man. I could sing you another one that I wrote that's about something random. Let's see.
that's crazy.
I feel like now I want to do a freaking Chat GPT challenge. Like officially every week, Culture Cards needs to
We
do
just opened.
this
We just opened
challenge.
the
Like
lane
It's
up.
all the
so
rappers.
funny. Yo, I'll show. It's fun. We could have fun doing it, and you can rap about people in the room. But like, I'll show you a random one that I did that was like hella fire. All right, what do you think? You want to hear this one? It's called Big Hot Wheels. They have that one, or then there's another one about driving down the street, and then there's another one. Let's see, what's this one called? This one's
The fact
called.
that we've been doing this.
Yo,
Hey, he
you
has a
guys
This
full
have
one.
out.
like
Listen, he has
listen,
a full album.
hold on. You guys have like Ghost Rider from the metaverse. Like what's going on?
It's Chat GPT, Fred. That's what I was telling them. I wanted the room to play a funny joke on you, and actually, let's act like Bill really wrote all this.
Oh my god. Yeah, all of this is written by AI. All right, I'll do this. I'll do another song that's written by AI. I did that song I just did, it was written by AI. Here's another one. Well, this one I've
By
practiced.
Lil GPT.
Yeah, this is Lil GPT. No, this one, here's an example though. All right. It would have never come up with the idea to call a song Big Hot Wheels. But because I gave it some of that input, it can write a dope song that has that idea behind it, right? So like that's the thing. Like you have to give it like something that's funny or like interesting, or else it's just gonna write you like a lame ass song. But if you give it a little bit, like I'm pretty sure I just said like write me a song about big Hot Wheels, and it just spat this out. And so like if I just do random stuff for a while, like maybe every couple of songs it'll be good. But anyway, I was literally just sitting on Spaces doing this for like a couple hours one night, and people were just coming up and hanging out and freestyling, and I was doing Chat GPT raps. Here's one that came out that I thought was good. I'll show it. It's kind of hard. It's called Big Hot Wheel. Big Hot Wheel. Chat GPT, little GPT on the track. AI in this bitch. Yeah. Excuse me. Big hot wheel rolling down the track. Big hot wheel rolling down it. Hey. Big hot wheel. Yeah. Big hot wheel rolling down. Yeah. Rolling down the track with a roar and a hump. Big wheels spinning heat. Rising with a run. Classic
classic car, and it's hot and it's sleek. Envy of it all with the bold physique. And engine roars and it's spinning down a lane. Big hot wheel, no ordinary game. Hey, every twist and turn and it's staying on the course. Hey, this a ride and it's worthy of the force. Hey. Big hot wheel cruising down the street. Hey, big hot wheel, the city can be beat. Hey, racing to the finish line with speed and power. Big hot wheel, the king of the hour. Metallic paint that's shining in the sun, and engine revving and it's ready for some fun. Tires screeching and it's taking on a turn. Big hot wheel, you can feel the burn. Hey, beasting of the road, it's a true king of speed. Hot wheels car, yeah, that's just all you need. Body fine, and the style so grand. Let's riding best, ride it across the land. Big hot wheels cruising down the street. Big hot wheel, the city can't be beat. Racing to the finish line with speed and power. Big hot wheel, the king of the hour. Flicking of the wrist, yeah, and it race ahead. Over jumping loop is showing no regret. Yeah. Big hot wheels, unstoppable and bold. The perfect ride for the young and the old. The time it go by, never boring. Big hot wheel, it leave you wanting more. Riding on your dream, ultimate thrill. Big hot wheel, the shit is always thrill. Big hot wheel cruising down the street. Big hot wheel, the city can't be beat. Big hot wheel cruising speed and power. Big hot wheel, the king of the hour. Big hot wheels cruising down the street. Alright, that's Big Hot Wheels.
I want you to
It's-
know if 21 Savage dropped that tomorrow, it's number one, bro.
Yo, isn't that hilarious? I wrote it in like 5 seconds, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just be in the studio one day and I'll spit it. But thanks,
The
Chantel.
amount
That's
of
funny.
viral videos is a wrap. That period and period character, she coming out. She's doing a whole
Dude.
dance to this.
She doing a verse. She gonna drop a
she go
16 on
she
the
finna
remix.
twerk in the
Period.
video. Goodness gracious, still, what have you done?
Yeah, we need that on the new season of P Valley.
I'm done. I'll drop it. I can make it into a song tomorrow. I'll drop it.
That is too funny. And that is literally how I'm going to end it on this high note. This was hilariously fun, enjoyable. Frenchy, I know you missed a better part of this, but you know, it was a great segment. It's on repeat, guys. It's recorded. You can listen to it again if you just joined in halfway. I want to go ahead. Frenchy, do you want to add anything else just before I tie it up with a bow? No, he's on ChatGPT right now trying to write his first French verse. Yeah, we'll let him do that. So that being said, I want to thank you guys all for joining us on episode 12 of BlockGen BlockGen, a Web3 based segment. I need GPT as well, where we highlight Web3 power players along with our subject matter experts. Thank you to our amazing guest, Dill. He was an amazing performer and so gracious to be with us, even though we've had some failures on our segment tonight. Thank you, Dill. I want you guys to be sure to follow myself, Fred Frenchy, our subject matter experts, Shontelle, Mariah, our amazing guest, Dill, for more content like this. Tune in every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more on BlockGen, and every Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The Culture Talk, where we unpack the legacy of pioneers, legends, contributors of the culture. That being said, have yourselves a blessed night.
Thank you guys. Good job, girls.
Okay, play GM now. Thanks. Bye.
That's funny. I'm dancing. Hot Wheels. I'm out of here.
Big Hot Wheels. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
GM made it, but they're not so much that I don't wanna be them. GM, just slide up on my office, see it slide into my DM. GM, yeah. Wake up to my baby girl and tell that girl like GM. Right about a hater, no, I can't even see them. I wake up in the morning and I gotta post my GM. Make a little song and then I gotta NFT him. I'm floating on this shit, you know I gotta oversee him. Every time I see him, wow.
Wow.
I had to keep it nice and say good morning to the sell a little art, you on the path to getting rich. If I'm aiming shit on target, cause I gotta get the hit. I'm the artist going hardest, cause I gotta get lit. GM, I can't do it by myself. GM, everybody needs help. GM, have a great day. We're all about art, but we gotta get paid. GM, made. I'm working out so much that I don't wanna be them. GM. Just slide up on my open seat and slide up on my DM. GM. Yeah, I wake up to my baby girl and tell that girl like GM. I ain't worried about a hater, no, I cannot even see them. We're all gonna make it. Take my girl on vacation. 10x to the top. 100x, make it pop. I can't do this if you wanna leave me out and on my own. Been quarantined too long, so I feel comfy all alone. Smoking weed and buying NFTs is better when I'm stoned. I get hard and then I'll wipe me, I'll be staring at my phone. GM, I can't do it by myself. GM, everybody needs help. GM and have a great
Great
day.
day.
We're all about art, but we gotta get paid. GM, made. I'm working out so much that I don't wanna be them. GM. Just slide up in my open seat and slide into my DM. GM. Yeah, wake up to my baby girl and tell that girl like GM. I ain't worried about a hater, no, I cannot even see them. We're all gonna make it.
Let's go. Thank you for having me. Shout out to the Culture Cards. Shout out to MJ, incredible hosts. Shout out to Shontelle and Fred and everyone else, Mariah and everyone else. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining, everyone. See you next week on BLOCKGEN.